I don't know about you, but my game shelf has been a badge of honor. But is it time to let go? You know how we used to proudly display our epic physical game collections? Well, it seems like those days might be numbered. A top dog at Ubisoft dropped a bomb, saying we're gonna have to say goodbye to our cherished game boxes. Just like we did CDs to Spotify and DVDs to Netflix. Let's get real though. Is this the inevitable future? Or are we just not ready to press continue on this digital-only journey? Let's unpack the future of digital and physical game collections. And believe me, this is one video you wouldn't want to skip at all. Let's understand what exactly is digital ownership and our so-called digital treasures. So when you grab a game, where's your go-to spot? PC peeps are probably hitting up Steam, console players are maybe rocking a physical copy or snagging it digitally. Now switch gears to tunes, Spotify or YouTube Music, right? TV and movies, Netflix or HBO Max got you covered. It's a digital world, and chances are you've got a stash of digital goodies. But here's the kicker. What happens when those platforms vanish into the digital abyss? It's not just a gamer dilemma, it's a headache for nature lovers. For you as a content consumer, and for creators who want their masterpieces to live on, here's the scoop. When you pay for that digital fix, you're not owning it. You're just renting the right to jam out or binge watch legally. Sure, so far the total wipeout of content hasn't hit us. You can still dust off your old Wii and download stuff from the shop channel, even when Alan Wake got yanked off Steam. If it was in your library, you could still hit that download button. But let's get real. No guarantees here. Consoles especially need cash and effort to keep that digital playground alive. Imagine convincing console big shots to keep the old stuff running. Tough, right? If a handful of us are still hanging on, it might not be worth it for them. Before we dive into the big talk, I gotta drop something important on you. Picture this as the epic backstory to our convo. 2023, and you're all pumped up about your gaming adventures on PlayStation. But hold up, it's not all rainbows and loot drops. Imagine you've forked out your hard-earned credits for some digital awesomeness. And bam! PlayStation hits you with an email drop. They're snatching away content you thought you owned. Like, what's up with that? So here's the lowdown. Discovery content, the stuff you paid for, is getting yanked from your digital stash. No heads up, just a due to licensing arrangements vibe. Some say it's tied to a whole murder drama with Warner Bros. Now, we're not just talking about streaming, we're diving into the gaming realm. How safe are our digital treasures, fam? Let's face it, we love our games. Now, how safe are our digital purchases? Remember the days of CDs, the physical ones you'd grab from actual stores, pop into your PC or console, and boom! Gaming time! Back then you could buy a game, grind it for a bit, and then swap it with a buddy or sell it off. Heck, there were even places to rent games. Good times. Now, CDs didn't fade out because they were lame, it was because game big shots weren't raking in the credits when you shared or sold those games. It wasn't about the convenience of digital copies, it was about the game publishers missing out on their piece of the loot. So, here we are in the era of digital downloads. But are we really better off? Can we truly say, "This game is mine and no one can snatch it"? Let that sink in, gamers. The game industry's changed. Ubisoft's bigwig, Philippe Tremblay, dropped a truth bomb. He said, "You don't own your games anymore. Get comfy with it." Now, for those of us who love having the physical game boxes in our hands, that might sound like a tough pill to swallow. Who wants their favorite game yanked off the shelves because it's not making enough gold in the boardroom? But hold on, Tremblay throws in a lifeline. Your progress isn't going down the digital drain. You stop playing, come back later, and bam, your save file is still there. So it's like not owning the game, but not losing your hard-earned achievements either. It's a weird spot. Feeling comfy without full ownership, right? Now think about it. Save games have been saving our progress way before the digital era. Rarely did we pop a physical game in, only to find our epic builds vanished into thin air. So is this shift just the evolution of the game world, or are we sacrificing something epic for the sake of convenience? What do you think? Now, the video is gonna get a bit more heavy, so keep watching. Microsoft's making big moves, cutting 1,900 jobs in places like Xbox, Bethesda, and Activision Blizzard. It's like a storm hitting the industry, right? So check this out. Jez Corden from Windows Central spilled the deets. Microsoft's closing down teams that used to bring Xbox games to physical stores. It's not a clear game over for physical retail though. Corden's saying they might just be shifting things around, maybe outsourcing to save some credits. But let's face it, the Xbox Game Pass soaring high is like a neon sign pointing towards the digital future. The game industry's evolving, and we're right in the middle of the crossfire. Now, let's dive into the buzz around Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick. So, some reports went wild, saying he suggested games should be priced per hour. Hold up though, Take-Two hit back, clarifying that it's not about the clock ticking. Zelnick's vibe is more like, games bring a ton of bang for your buck. It's not about watching the minutes, it's about the overall value. The media kinda twisted his words in a recent earnings call. He wasn't saying you should pay by the hour. He was pointing out that games give us awesome value compared to other entertainment stuff. Take-Two spills the tea. Their plan is to dish out more value than what you drop on a game. It's not just about the price tag, it's about making sure the gaming experience is top-notch. So what's your take, gamers? Was the quote all mixed up, or do you sense a hidden message? Word on the gaming street is that Best Buy might be ditching all the physical media. That's DVDs, Blu-rays, the whole shebang, as early as the start of 2024. Yep, you heard it right. Now, if this happens, it's gonna be Walmart, Target, and Amazon holding down the fort for physical games and movies. But here's the deal. Some folks are getting antsy about what this means for our beloved classics and current-gen games. You know, those gems that deserve a spot on your gaming shelf. Sure, digital games are wicked convenient, and they save us space. But here's the kicker. What about game preservation? Critics are throwing shade, saying going all digital might mess with the legacy of our favorite titles. Think about it. When a digital store shuts down, the game might vanish too. Nintendo made waves closing their 3DS and Wii U shops, leaving physical copies as the only lifeline. So are we ready for a world where physical game shops are as rare as a legendary drop? It's not just about the past. Even current-gen games might become relics sooner than we think. Let's rewind back to 2004, when Valve dropped the highly anticipated Half-Life 2 on Steam. It was like a gaming stampede. Everyone was rushing to snag the game or authenticate their physical copy. But guess what? Steam couldn't handle the frenzy. It crashed harder than a noob in a pro match. Valve made it mandatory to go through Steam for both digital and physical copies. So whether you bought it online or at a store, you had to dance with Valve's client. Problem? The servers couldn't handle the party, leaving gamers stuck with Steam pop-ups saying, "Sorry for the epic delays." Fast forward for now, Steam's a big shot in the gaming world. Sony and other heavy hitters dropped their games there, and it's a home to a ton of indie gems. But here's the twist. Digital-only purchases are giving us gamers some serious headaches. Picture this. You're all excited, ready to dive into your game, but Steam's just checking for updates. Closes, and then goes radio silent. Like, seriously? And then there's the saga of Steam telling you to buy a game you already own. Oh, and imagine scrolling through your Steam library and suddenly you're seeing someone else's games. Not a friend, just some random gamer's stash. It's like peeking into a stranger's room, but in the gaming world. Awkward much? Ever thought about the drama with DRM? That encryption thing keeping our games under lock and key? Is ditching de novo or DRM the solution? But what if games are left unguarded, vulnerable to sharing without a care? Now, hold up. It's a conundrum for developers. They pour heart and soul into crafting epic games, only to see them roam the internet without a nod from the creators. Big shot studios might weather the storm, but what about the little guys? The indie game warriors? So here's the challenge. How do we shield indie developers from piracy while keeping the gaming vibes strong for players? Picture this, a software distribution system riding on blockchain tech. What's the deal? It verifies ownership without needy servers or a big boss confirming it. Indie devs can automate their game sales, no one's stopping them from sharing their creations with the world, and no sneaky pirates hijacking their hard work. Players, they can snag, download, and game on without internet chains. No hits on performance, plus trading or selling games like the good old CD days. What's your take on this gaming twist? Can we strike a balance where devs stay safe and gamers enjoy the freedom of digital gaming without the headaches? Drop your thoughts in the chat. The digital versus physical game debate. It's a real head-scratcher. You've probably heard folks say, with digital copies, you don't really own the game, or if the server goes down, you're left with nada. But here's the thing, is that cut and dry? So, physical copies, what's the deal? You can share the game with your bud. Check. Experience the whole game, and if you want, trade or sell it. Check. Play even if servers go MIA. No online connection needed. Check. But convenience is like our gaming king, right? Click and you're in. No hunting for a physical copy. I've got digital games on my DSi and Wii. Stores shut down, but I can still game. As long as the game's on the system, it's all good. The hitch? When the store bites the dust. But wait. You say, download it, slap it on a micro SD, bam, permanent license. Well, not quite. Nintendo's a bit picky. No swapping SD cards between switches. Gotta format it. Each micro SD is switch bound. I get it. Habits die hard. Like my CD days, having something physical felt right. Now I'm in the Spotify zone. No CDs, all the tunes. Less clutter, more convenience. Gaming's a similar tale. Stuck in my physical ways, but running out of room. Could digital be the future? Maybe. But not until us physical era folks chill in the respawn zone. Just look at newspapers ditching prints for online news. Some grumbled, but they adopted. If Nintendo dropped physical games, we'd gripe, but we'd roll with it. Change is the name of the game, after all. So, where do you stand? Physical or digital? So, we finally unraveled the future of digital versus physical collections with those 10 key points. As we stare into the future, remember, the game isn't just in the console, it's in the choices we make. And as always, we read all your comments. Let us know, what do you think? Check out our video on the screen if you want to know why AAA games are dying. Give a thumbs up if you liked this one, and make sure to subscribe for more game explainers. Until then, adios.